In Investing 101 today, we are taking a look at an enormous growth area of investing. It's known as ESG. ESG stands for environmental, social, and corporate governance. And some of the explosion is happening in this area as investors become more concerned and more aware about where they are putting their money. Let's bring in Rick Redding, CEO of the Index Industry Association. Good to have you here. And you are talking to asset managers who are actually pushing ESG investing. How big is this, and what are you learning about growth?
Well, we did a survey of 300 asset managers across Western Europe and the US to try to figure that out. A lot of people talk about it a lot more these days, but part of our goal was to find out how big it is and how big it will be. And the survey results showed about 25% of the portfolios are ESG today. They think that number will go between 40 and 45% within 5 years. And by the end of the decade, they think it'll be over half the portfolio. So this was pretty important to quantify what the asset management community thought.
Rick, what's working and what's not working with ESG investing?
Well, one of the issues that is out there that needs some improvement, according to the survey, is just access to better data. And meaning that the corporations need to have better data coming out of them so people can score the companies better, to include them, whether it be in benchmarks or to include them in actual portfolios. One other thing that came out of the survey that was very important was the asset management community thought that there needed to be more inclusion of other asset classes besides equities, and particularly it called out fixed income.
What are some more examples of what you found in the survey?
So there's a lot of, actually there's many funds out there and there's many indexes out there. I mean, how we came to do this survey was we do an annual survey of our members, and what we saw last year was there was an increase in the number of ESG indexes by 40%. And we've never seen anything like that in any prior year survey. So that's the reason why we jumped into it. And that's the reason why investors are thinking about this more and more and looking for these ESG type portfolios.
How much of ESG investing is being done by millennials versus boomers versus other generations?
So there's really a couple of areas we found from the survey that it's being driven in some part in the U.S. by a changing demographic, but it's primarily being driven by investors wanting to use their investment dollars more the way that they're socially thinking these days, and that's what's really driving it. I mean, the demographics are an important movement within the retail market, but within the institutional market, it really is about people trying to put their money where their social mores are these days.
Thank you, Rick, so much for helping us out with Investing 101 today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Go to businessfirstam.com for where to see our show on TV.